Welcome to the deep dive. We take stacks of sources, pull out the key insights, basically giving you a shortcut to getting well informed.
Hmm.
Today, we're diving into some really insightful stuff on relationships. It's from the book, The Five Love Needs of Men and Women by Dr. Gary and Barbara Rosberg.
America's Family Coaches. Yeah.
Exactly. And this deep dive, it's really focused on principles for a Christ-centered marriage, helping you understand those core needs, maybe even, divorce-proof your own marriage.
It's pretty amazing how they do it. I mean, they draw on over 25 years counseling thousands of couples,
Wow.
and they surveyed over 700 more. They sort of boil down all these complex dynamics into things you can actually do.
Actionable insights.
Yeah, precisely. Their whole thing is that understanding and, crucially, meeting your spouse's unique needs isn't just nice, it's vital, essential for a strong, lasting marriage.
And they talk about that 100 commitment, right? Not 50-50.
Exactly. It's not about splitting the difference. It's about both going all in.
Okay, so that commitment idea, it really sets the stage for a story they tell right at the beginning. It's pretty intense.
Phil and Susan.
Yeah, Phil and Susan. Their marriage was really at a crisis point. Phil finds out Susan's having an affair.
And what she said, that's what really hits home.
Right. She said she felt so lonely. Phil was always traveling, just totally absorbed in his work. It makes you ask, how does it even get there?
That's the core question, isn't it?
Yeah.
The Rosbergs argue that when you neglect those vital needs, emotional, physical, relational, spiritual, fans, the marriage can just begin to die. It becomes vulnerable.
Like leaving a door open.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And Gary Rosberg, he was blunt with Phil. Told him straight up, you weren't paying attention to the needs of his wife.
Ooh, tough message.
Very. But here's the thing. Their story isn't just a warning. There's hope there, too. Phil decided, it's not too late. He set out to win back his wife.
And did it work?
It did. It led to healing, and they described their marriage later as radiant, built on actually understanding each other's needs. It really brings home what we're trying to unpack today.
Okay, so taking that story, what does it really mean for us, in our relationships? The book makes a strong point about the golden rule.
Right, do unto others.
Yeah, treat others how you want to be treated. The Rosbergs say, well, that doesn't always work in marriage.
Because men and women often need different things. It's not just a guess either. Remember that survey?
Yes.
Over 700 couples?
So they actually mapped out these differences.
Exactly. And what they found is if you just assume your spouse wants what you want, you can end up with these huge gaps, unmet needs everywhere.
Okay, so what are the needs?
Well, number one was the same for both, interestingly. Unconditional love and acceptance. That's foundational for husbands and wives.
Okay, common ground there.
But then it diverges. For husbands, the top five are unconditional love, #1, sexual intimacy, #2, companionship, #3, encouragement and affirmation, #4, and spiritual intimacy, #5.
Got it. And for wives.
Same number one, unconditional love. But then, communication and emotional intimacy, #2, spiritual intimacy, #3, encouragement and affirmation, #4, same number 4, and companionship, #5.
So some overlap, but key differences, especially at number 2 and 3.
Significant differences in priority. It shows just how different our kind of emotional wiring can be.
Let's dig into that number 1 need first then. Unconditional love. The book calls it love that won't quit.
Accepting your spouse, no matter what, even when things are tough or, when they mess up.
Gary Rosberg shares a really personal story about that, doesn't he?
Yeah, about facing a huge income loss. A business thing went south. And his wife, Barb, her immediate reaction wasn't panic or blame.
What does she say?
Just, I'm with you. No fear, no disappointment apparent, just solidarity.
Wow. That kind of support, it's huge.
It really is, and it shows the power of this. There's another story, too, about Marge. Her husband, Ben, lost all their savings. A get-rich-quick scheme gone wrong.
Devastating.
Totally. But Marge's pastor gave her this perspective. She was called to love Ben even if, and she did, she showed this love without limit.
And it changed him.
Profoundly. It led to his transformation. The book calls it unconditional love and acceptance at its finest. That's what makes a man feel safe, affirmed, helps him get his confidence back. It's like a refuge.
So if that's how it lands for men, how does Barb Rosberg talk about it for women? Is it the same feeling?
She says every wife shares this same need. Absolutely. But maybe the key part is especially when we deserve it least.
When it's hardest to give.
Right. She tells Leslie's story. Leslie had the secret about having a baby years ago, before she met her husband, carried that pain and shame.
That's heavy.
Incredibly. But her husband, Joe, he just looked at her and said, I will always love you. You are safe with me. that unwavering love, that safety. It allowed her to finally confess,
And that changed everything.
changed the destiny of an entire family, as the book puts it.
So the big picture here is that this kind of love, it actually creates space for healing.
Exactly. And growth. Like Julie, who was terrified of abandonment because her dad left. Her husband, Frank, he didn't just say get over it. He decided to actively love his wife back to security.
How did he do that?
Changed his schedule. Made dedicated time just for her. Listened to her fears without judging. And the book says Julie just blossomed in the sunshine of that love.
It's about loving them in their pain, not just when things are good.
Precisely. Even if they annoy you, even if you feel they don't deserve it in that moment. It's modeling a deeper love, praising who they are, not just what they do.
Okay, so that's the foundation, unconditional love. But then things get different with intimacy.
Right, and the book pulls no punches for men. Men spell intimacy S-E-X.
It's a bold statement.
It is, and they back it up, arguing that a huge chunk, maybe 50 up to 90% of a man's self-image, his feeling like a man, is tied up in his sexuality.
90%, that's
Yeah.
a lot.
It's a massive claim, and they explain why, suggesting men tend to compartmentalize their lives.
Like different boxes for work, hobbies, sex.
Exactly. And the sex box, they say, is always kind of there, on the edge, ready to be opened at a moment's notice, which is very different from how they describe women.
How so?
Women, they say, tend to tie all of these boxes together. So, for physical intimacy, there often needs to be that connection. First, open communication, feeling emotionally close.
Which means if a man's sexual needs aren't met,
He can feel deeply rejected, might shut down, or, as the book warns, might look outside of marriage. They mention Larry, who had an affair, and Arnie, who turned to porn. It points to a real vulnerability.
so the message to wives is recognize this isn't just a want, it's a very real and vital need for your husband.
Yes, and when a wife responds sexually, it affirms him in ways she might not even realize.
Yeah.
Far beyond anything she could imagine, the book says.
But it's not just about the physical act, is it? They share Lisa's story.
Right. Lisa, who had past sexual trauma, her husband Ron showed that unconditional love we talked about, supported her, was patient, even took a vacation from sex while she healed.
He put her healing first.
He did. And because of that, she could face those memories. Their intimacy deepened. It perfectly illustrates that idea. Before two bodies touch, two hearts must touch.
Before two bodies touch, two hearts must touch. That's a great line. It leads right into intimacy for women, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Because for women, the book says, women spell intimacy T-A-L-K.
Talk, communication.
Mm-hmm. For many women, talking isn't just sharing information. It's how they process things. A way to work through thoughts, feelings, ideas, and problems.
The example of Devi comes to mind. Rough day with the kids.
Yeah, totally wiped out. And her husband, Ken, he gets home, and instead of immediately looking for physical connection,
He just
he
listened.
just sat down and listened while she unloaded some of the stress,
Yeah.
let her talk it out. And then later, after she felt heard and connected, she initiated intimacy.
That connection piece is key.
It's often the prerequisite. It's essential.
So how can husbands meet that need effectively? What does listening really look like here?
Well, the book says wives feel heard when their husbands actually track their conversation. Follow along and make eye contact, look directly into their eyes. Seems basic, but
But it shows you're really present.
exactly. And the warning is pretty stark. If a wife feels starved for emotional intimacy, she might pull away, withdraw,
Like Mary building that invisible wall.
right? Or she might look elsewhere. Not necessarily a full-blown affair, maybe something subtle, like Anne's emotional connection with a coworker at church. Still dangerous territory.
So what it boils down to for women is feeling validated, heard, understood.
That's it. Her point of view is validated, listened to, understood. It means just being there emotionally, not jumping in to fix everything.
Resisting the fix-it urge, that's hard sometimes.
It is. And recognizing strong emotions aren't problems to be solved. They're exclamation marks, signaling a need for connection.
And husbands need to protect the relationship too, right? Be aware of potential issues with other women.
Definitely. The authors say husbands need to safeguard things, recognize danger signals, and interestingly, trust their wives' intuition, their radar, about inappropriate situations.
Good advice. It's also about dealing with resentment, isn't it? Forgiving.
Hugely important.
Yeah.
Letting go of resentments, choosing forgiveness,
Mm.
like Peter and Linda in the book, who finally worked through his over-involvement with his family. It's about clearing the path for trust and safety.
Okay, so we have unconditional love and these different languages of intimacy, sex, and talk. What else is crucial? The book talks about friendship, right?
Yeah, friendship. That comfortable, lived-in feeling in a marriage, like your favorite old jeans, takes time to get there.
I like that analogy. And for men, friendship connects to vulnerability.
Deeply. The book notes it's tough for guys to open up, even to other guys. They're afraid of looking like a jerk.
And they hate looking like a jerk to their wives even more.
Exactly. So wives need to handle that vulnerability with care. Speak the truth in love. Be forgiving.
They mentioned Kent, whose wife Nina was still holding past mistakes against him.
Right? He felt like he was constantly being punished. She couldn't let go. And the book gently points out you can't force forgiveness, but holding on to resentment, it just darkens your own heart.
So for men, friendship also involves the wife showing interest in his world.
Yeah, stepping into his world, his passions, stocks, football, whatever it is, encouraging him, being that safe place for him to go when he's ready to sink below the waterline.
Like Jan was for Chad when his parents split up.
Exactly. Yeah. Just being there safely.
And for wives, friendship is number 5 on their list. What does that look like for them?
The book gets quite poetic here. It talks about a wife longing for the affair of her heart with you, her husband.
An affair of the heart?
Right.
Within the marriage?
Yes. It's about this deep need for security and trust, feeling safe enough to show the real person underneath.
The Rosbergs use their own example, the park bench.
Yeah, their spot in San Francisco Bay, it's both real and metaphorical, a place they intentionally go to connect, reflect, celebrate, work through stuff, adjust their friendship, even through failure and pain. It's deliberate.
That intentionality seems key. Which brings us to another layer. Spiritual connection. How does that fit in?
It's vital. Spiritual intimacy is #5 for husbands, #3 for wives. For husbands, the book frames it as taking on the toughest job, spiritual leadership at home.
That sounds intimidating.
Gary Rosberg admits feeling inadequate himself. But he says, the Christian life isn't about feelings, it's about truth. I'm inadequate, but God isn't.
Relying on God's strength, not your own.
Exactly. Richard's story shows this. His family found a new church after feeling spiritually dry, and they regained their spiritual equilibrium. It's about leaning in, even when you feel unqualified.
And for the wife, what's her role or her need in that spiritual intimacy?
Barb Rosberg emphasizes that wives need to be growing spiritually too, and they deeply desire their husbands to be active spiritual leaders.
What does active leadership look like in this context?
Praying out loud together, studying the Bible together, encouraging each other in ministry or service. Barb shares a really moving story.
About Gary reading the Bible to her.
Yes, when she was just devastated by a cruel letter someone sent, she said, God's words pried open my guarded heart. The book talks about husbands being God with skin on for their wives in those moments.
Wow. Embodying that care and protection. Okay, one more shared need. Encouragement and affirmation. Number 4 for both.
Right. And the book has a bit of fun with this for men, suggesting they're basically boys trapped in oversized bodies.
Still needing cheerleaders.
Pretty much needing to know someone is rooting for him and that someone is you, his wife. Men need to hear applause, feel special. It's about validation again.
And if they don't get it at home,
they can feel discouraged and defeated. Or, again, the warning.
Yeah.
They might seek the applause somewhere else, like Tim, who ended up in an emotional affair.
So encouragement for a husband means really tuning in.
Actively listening, yes. Reminding him you believe in him. Cheering him on through work stress or feeling like he's competing with younger guys. Be his cheerleader, his pep team, his marching band, all in one.
That's a lot of roles. And for women, how does encouragement land?
Barb shares Amy's story. After a deep betrayal, she desperately needed encouragement just to find hope. The point is, wives face battles every day, many unseen. Your encouragement keeps her pressing ahead.
It's more than just appreciation then.
Oh, much more. You have to tell her, say the words. And the book offers practical tips, like helping ease the tension when she's overwhelmed. Maybe even encouraging her to cry if she needs that release.
That connects back to understanding her wiring, doesn't it? Not trying to fix, just support.
Exactly. Recognizing her conversation might be a stress reliever. Your logic or fixing might be unwelcome right then. Instead, point out her potential.
Like Gary did with Barb's painting. Or Jesus renaming Simon to Peter the Rock.
Perfect examples. See the potential, speak it out loud, appreciate her contribution, whatever it is. And remember, for many wives, silence sounds like rejection.
Don't assume she knows you appreciate her.
Tell her. That story about Mark Eklund, carrying those affirming notes from classmates for years. It just shows the lasting power of words. Encouragement is a gift that truly keeps on giving.
Okay, we've covered a lot. The 5 core needs for men, for women, how they overlap, how they differ, what it looks like to meet them. The book ties it all back to aiming for a great marriage, not just settling for good.
Right. It's presented as a choice, a journey, not something that just happens.
A conscious effort.
Definitely. And they hold up Gary's own parents as the example. 54 years together,
Wow.
marked by security and commitment, even through really tough times, illness, financial struggles. They drank from the well of security and commitment, and they finished strong.
Finishing well. That's a powerful image for marriage.
Isn't it? It's about the long haul, together.
It really paints a hopeful picture. There's that short story Gary tells, too, about the couple at the airport.
Oh yeah, the passionate reunion after just 2 days apart.
Right. And when asked how they keep it so alive after 12 years, the husband's answer was so simple.
Don't hope, friend. Decide.
Decide, that's it.
That one word says so much.
Yeah.
And maybe that's the provocative thought to leave everyone with. Meeting these needs. It isn't always easy. It takes a decision.
It's work.
It is. Barb Rosberg is very honest about Gary's depression after his father died. How it could have torpedoed both of our souls. It was a huge test.
But they got through it.
Together.
Yeah.
She talks about feeling embraced by God's unfathomable love and how facing that test together actually built greater determination, devotion, and a deeper love. They decided to press on.
So thinking about everything we've unpacked today, what's one thing that stands out to you, the listener? What's one thing you can decide to do this week? To understand your spouse's needs a bit better, maybe meet one more fully. Because like the book says, a great marriage isn't a dream, it's a choice. And the hope is, as you make that choice, your spouse feels so understood, so cherished, that they can say you are their best friend because you've met their needs with a whole heart.